Welcome into the SportsA.com Sports Report. Today's topic, hockey, specifically high school hockey. The Pennsylvania Interscholastic Hockey League, in its infinite wisdom, has decided, according to a Yahoo Sports report, that because of the prohibitive costs of ice rental, they will no longer be playing the national anthem at their sanctioned events. And I say, why not? It comes out to about $5 a minute for ice rental. That's about $15 a game to play the national anthem. The national anthem has been a part of every sporting event that I've ever been to, watched, or heard since I can remember. And I'm a professional broadcaster. I go to a lot of these things. I hear and see a lot of games, and there's always a rendition of the national anthem. It's like peanut butter and jelly. It goes together. What makes hockey so special? Why does Pennsylvania high school hockey have to be different? Do they not get to pay the costs while every other state does, while every other game does, while every other league does? I don't think so. If that's really an issue for you, I have an idea. Your league is obviously not solvent, you're obviously not making enough money, and it's obviously time to shut it down. Or, have a better idea for you. You want to keep your job? Fine. Streamline the thing. Instead of a 20-minute pregame show, have a 10 or a 15-minute pregame show. Instead of a 20-minute halftime show, calm it down again to 15 or 10 minutes. That saves you about 20 minutes a game, 10 to 20 minutes a game right there. A lot more money, a lot more ice time saved than by cutting the national anthem, which in the grand scheme of things is probably the most important thing that's going to happen at these games. What is the quote-unquote mission of high school athletics? It is to develop well-nurtured, well-respectable, and good-functioning members of American society. Well, how are we going to instill patriotism if they don't hear the anthem? How are we going to instill patriotism if during perhaps their finest hour of their life to that point, during their high school hockey game, they are not being instilled with the grandest of all songs in this country, our national anthem? That is a great opportunity for education and pride to take over that hockey is now kicking to the curb in favor of a $10 bill and an Abraham Lincoln. Doesn't make any sense to me. In fact, why don't we just take it a step further? We're not going to play the national anthem. Why don't we just play China's national anthem? Because that's where this is going. This is going towards communism. I don't want to sound like the 21st century peddler of McCarthyism, but the reality is simple. If you can't play the national anthem during a hockey game in high school, when can you play it? If it's not socially acceptable to play our national song during an athletic event in our country, when is it ever acceptable? The reality is this. We've already taken the Pledge of Allegiance out of schools because it is forcing beliefs on people. Same with religion. Well, what's so wrong about forcing the belief that we live in a good country on impressionable students? Don't we want that as Americans? Don't we want the students who will one day run the country to have patriot and civic pride? Isn't that important to our future as a solid society? I think it is. Keep the national anthem in hockey, please. And for one thing, too, one last thing I want to say about this. Hockey of all sports should not have the audacity to do this. It's not football where it actually carries some weight. It's hockey. You have an obligation, because you're barely relevant to begin with, to at least teach a lesson. And that lesson is national pride. Keep the national anthem. Don't get rid of it for $15. It's petty, it's silly, and it comes off really weak. With the SportsA.com Sports Report, I'm Gary Ade.